Alright, let's see. We should be starting this stream now. Just gonna check and make sure it's working on my YouTube. Alright, let's see. Oh, we should be starting this stream now. It works. Check and make sure it's working on my YouTube. So I need to... Alright, let's see. Oh, sorry about that. We should be starting this stream now. It works. Check and make sure it's working on my YouTube. So I need to... Alright. Sorry about that. We should be starting this stream now. Okay. It works. Check and make sure it's working on my YouTube. So I need to... Alright. Sorry about that. We should be starting this stream now. It works. Check and make sure it's working on my YouTube. So I need to... Alright. Sorry about that. We should be starting this stream now. It works. Check and make sure it's working on my YouTube. So I need to... Alright. Sorry about that. I'm very confused. Starting this stream now. It works. Check and make sure it's working on my YouTube. So I need to... Alright. Sorry about that. I'm very confused. Starting this stream now. Okay. I kept hearing the same thing repeat over and over. I didn't realize I had the stream on a separate window that was behind Fury. So I'm very worried that the viewing audience here may have heard my voice on repeat.
Yeah, you're cutting in and out again.
Alright. Well, we may have had some technical difficulties at the beginning, but I think we should be okay now.
Perhaps you should just make it. Perhaps you should just make it a normal recording, and I should just leave.
That's okay.
I think at this point that would be for the best because my internet is being somewhat sketchy. So
let's just give it. I think we're okay now.
All right.
So, welcome all. I am Snuffleupagus here with my friend Fangs of Fire. I apologize for the chaos you may have just encountered. We are here commenting the New Blood tournament. We are in the knockout phase, single survive and advance phase, basically. We are commenting a game between Altaris playing the Hunters against DonOJack playing Dracula. Fangs, you want to introduce yourself?
Thank you, so, but on these two players, Altaris actually finished second in the league stage of the tournament. So he was one of the four who finished 7-3. But he had the best Burkholz score. DonOJack was less fortunate. I don't recall exactly where he was, but he has fought his way up this far to the quarterfinals.
That's right. That's right.
So DonOJack is definitely a competent player. Altaris was only bested 3 times during the league stage, as I said, but two of which were by Strider 6x6, which if you've been following the tournament so far, you already know that Strider was only bested once during the league stage. So, and therefore got the top seeding. The other time was actually by myself when he and I faced each other in the first stage of the league. He and I both won. Whoever was Dracula won, but not in as simple terms as most newbies, as many of the quote unquote newbies were.
Indeed. So yeah, I think I agree. Altaris is probably favored here, and you Fangs co-commented on the reverse match of this. The link to that is in the caption underneath this video, where we saw Altaris as Dracula evade DonOJack. So this really is winner out for DonOJack.
Yeah, this is either catcher catch or be caught, in a sense.
And it's win in advance for Altaris. That's the fun thing about Fury of Dracula March Madness right here. Um, so right now we're looking at a standard Scott Sword start. Or no, I'm sorry, not Scott Sword. Excuse me, a
No,
superhero start. Superhero
this
start.
is superhero start.
That is with the power duo of Lord Godalming and John Stewart in Vienna, kind of in the middle right part of the map, and Van Helsing in Britain, and Mina Harker hanging out in Spain, covering that western grounds. We've also seen here so far a pretty standard misdirect of Dracula's starting location to try to make it just take a little bit longer for some of those key hunter events to be able to reveal Dracula's trail.
Yeah,
So,
nothing all that remarkable so far.
so with nothing to go on, where's that
Yep.
Drac?
When it comes to the superhero start, I think that and you're somewhat enticed to do an Eastern start more than usual, since with no Mina scans, they can't rule out Austro-Hungaria. Uh, but actually, I've learned that that's actually makes it less good to do uh an Eastern start, because then you have your two best uh, trail clearers
True. I'm always
over in
tempted
the
to kind
East.
of go towards Spain since Mina's, you know, the other hunters are pretty far from Mina, and I feel like Drac can handle her. But Western France down to Spain is pretty tempting. So we're getting some tickets. We're getting some supplies. Pretty standard week one so far for Altaris' hunters. Nothing too crazy in the discard yet. Let's see here. I'm going to keep an eye on the live chat here if anyone ever wants to comment. We will do our best to communicate with everyone in the chat, give people shout outs and responses to their thoughts going on down there.
Yeah, the Hunters is that DonOJack DonOJack's best chance of progressing to the semifinals it is to win better than Altaris did, which, considering that Altaris bested him with with an IDS of 9, he's going to have to survive with at least 10 HP. So that's not an easy thing to do.
Well, that's just going to affect who gets to choose their role for round three, no?
Well, yes, but wouldn't it be better off if DonOJack's best? I'm saying that DonOJack's best chance is to be able to choose,
Oh, for sure.
and so therefore he needs to win this with. I mean, first and foremost, he has to win this.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, I agree. But his best chance to progress on to the semifinals is to be able to choose to be Dracula again, because the Hunters are Altaris' weaker side by uh deep by a
Interesting.
certain margin.
Very interesting. I wasn't aware. Some people are much better at one or the other. Some are pretty even. I didn't. It's good to know that Altaris has that reputation. Pretty sure the only time I've ever
Uh,
beaten him, he was hunters. Uh,
yeah, and the only person who has beaten him this tournament when he was Hunters is Strider, and when he was Dracula was Strider.
Okay.
I I myself, in the case of the time I beat him in a league, it was in the first week when we had to face each other on both sides, and it was whoever was Drac won. Okay, huh? Early wolf form, interesting.
Early wolf form. Now, what might that suggest? Um, that, I mean, in my thinking, that could suggest either that uh, Dracula's wolfing over a hunter, or he wants the hunters to think he's wolfing over a hunter.
Or I would be a bit suspicious to an England start here, because that would be start at Manchester, go up to Edinburgh, or hide there to protect the rumor, to protect the vampire, and then wolf form to Liverpool, so it should have at least one more day where they can't detect you via local rumors or evil presence.
That I could see that. I could see that. Although honestly, I'm not sure I would really care at that point. Like, what would they do?
Fair enough, but
It'd be, I guess,
that's
yeah. It's
but
possible he's trying to go for a more robust England start, and he maybe started in Plymouth, leaped over. It's not a bad idea with how far
uh
away Godalming and
hmm,
Seward are, right? If
well
Seward were
that's
in Madrid or in
I'm
uh,
afraid that that's well that's
Bordeaux,
play I'm afraid that that's plain impossible because Plymouth and Swansea do not connect. Plymouth, you would have to go through London.
well, if you hid in Plymouth and then
Well,
wolfed. Oh, you're
yes,
correct. I
but
forgot about the misdirect.
yeah,
Yeah, point taken.
I mean, you could be there now to be sure, but I doubt that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Very interesting. It'll be putting a lot of work on Van Helsing's back if Drac is in Britain, because it would require Helsing to be the one to do all the trail clearing, and a lot of times trail clearing is not great for Hunter's health, and it
Yes.
could put Van Helsing in a position to fall into an early grave with Drac around there ready to pounce. Could be seeing an aggressive Drac here. It'd be interesting.
Yeah, I don't know much about DonOJack's playstyle, as I've only played seeing as I never played in the league stage, played, and I've only played him once or twice in friendly matches. But uh, hmm,
I'm pretty sure I started and did that exact strategy one of the games I played against him just for fun. He might have done the same to me once. It's been a while now. We'll see. It'll be very interesting to see that used this tournament. We've seen some Ireland starts. We've seen starts all over continental Europe. I can't remember if we've seen a UK start yet.
uh, well,
It would be interesting.
yeah, yeah, but while we wait for information, so, some other tournament information is that the other this is this is the battle between Altaris and DonOJack who is the last of the four semifinalists. The other three have already been determined. Strider for 6x6 beat each Geo to progress to the semifinals. Wormtalon defeated me fair and square, even though I put up quite a fight for him. So
And you could have said so yourself.
yeah.
All right. And what about this
but
side of the bracket? It's
yeah, so
Altaris versus
Strider,
Burke Malley. Or, I'm sorry, Altaris and DonOJack versus Burke Malley.
yes, Molly has made it through after defeating, I believe, you, was it not?
That's right. I may have helped him out a little bit in that regard. Both of them, not to go
Uh,
dwell on those too much, but they were both pretty strong starts and uh, kind of embarrassing finishes. So don't watch those videos if you haven't yet. Forget, for, no one needs to see any of that.
Well, in any event, yeah, whichever one of the. So the thing is, if Altaris, so all three of those players are are veterans. All are veterans in the sense that they have been in the community for over half a year before the tournament.
This will be interesting.
Uh, so but here's what's even more interesting. Altaris and Berkmali were in the same league state in the first part of the league stage. I was there with them.
They will know each other quite well.
Yeah, it'll be very. That is what if Altaris does progress, it'll be very interesting to see how the Altaris versus Berkmali rematch comes because Altaris bested Berkmali both times. Will that happen again? Will there be a game three?
Got to survive in advance. Now these are the games that matter. Now I'm very interested to
Yeah.
see. Altaris has been dwelling on this Sister Agatha decision for a while now. It's a tough one. I mean, Sister Agatha. Ooh, he uses it to
No,
search.
no.
No
Yeah,
nonce.
that's the correct choice at this stage. I mean, since her perk is in combat, if that were a Jonathan Harker and you don't have a newspaper in hand, then then I would do ally. But
Well,
either of the other ones, first you gotta. I mean, Rufus maybe he like if he were already at sea from like starting in Ireland. I don't know. Maybe.
well, I definitely. It makes me wonder if he has newspaper reports because that obviously is more. There's more urgency to using Aggie for the search if you don't have any immediate prospects of revealing Drac's location.
Yes, exactly. And which is what makes it right to search with her. Or if that, even if that isn't the case, it learning where he is a little bit sooner is useful.
And
Uh,
I I do like the search of Nantes because I don't know it comports with my instinct that Western France is a good place to start with this particular setup. But unfortunately for Altaris, not a hit.
yeah.
The battleship remains unsunk.
Oh, we have the stake discard. Interesting.
Yeah, it's probably a good time to check again. We do.
Honestly, that's not. It's not all that surprising that we would have one stake discard between, because even between Goldami and Seward, there's so much supplying going on there that they're bound to overload at some point.
So we're in. So I'm guessing Van Helsing is now thinking about doing some swapping, perhaps.
Either that, or he's thinking whether or not to improve ticket economy. At least that would be my assumption. Choosing between the two, possibly,
Could be.
possibly,
Could be.
possibly already has his tickets sorted out and is wondering if there's any real need to switch things around right now.
And actually, one thing that's interesting is if Dracula is in the UK, um, Van Helsing is either going to need to use a horse or use his tickets to get to Edinburgh, potentially. Potentially. That could be interesting.
I mean, if Dracula has been in Manchester, ideally, yes, he would. He would said he could jump over Manchester to get there without like having to run into a bat, say. First, uh, like if Dracula put bats down Manchester.
Yep. Not a bad play in this situation. I might have actually done that in my game versus him. It's been so long. I might have done that. But in any case,
Yeah,
let's see where Drac goes now. Will we see a move to C? Uh, if he's in the UK, he's going to be running out of options.
he'll have one more option if because most likely, uh, I mean, he can, if he chooses to, always do a feed, since he did do a wolf form.
Yeah, maybe the wolf form's to obfuscate. Maybe he's in Britain and he just wolf formed from Edinburgh to Manchester and used that to. I'm not sure. I guess that wouldn't obfuscate all that much.
Well, time to discover whether they got an early newspaper. Did it happen? Oh, they
Got a
had something
prompt.
related to Dawn.
You got a prompt. What could it be?
They don't.
Not a newspaper. Interesting. So there might be a long night or
However,
renewed vigor.
that the fact that there are three different prompts means that there's at least one decent one. They can't just be all long nights.
Interesting.
And such. Because
Oh, so three different hunters have three different dawn events, and
at least.
and if none of them are newspaper reports, which we can deduce because he would have used it, that
I
means at
mean,
least one is a renewed
yeah.
vigor, with the
Either
other
that
two
or a
being
speedy
long nights.
telegraph.
Oh, or speed
Either that,
telegraph.
either that or a speedy telegraph, which is also definitely also has its moments.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's good information. I wonder if DonOJack has perceived that and what he'll think about it. What DonOJack will be thinking about the fact that there are three Don prompts, none of which are newspaper reports.
Yeah, I honestly am not sure that he'll make such a. I'm not sure he'll make that big of a connection. Uh, I think that if you're in Altaris' shoes, you're actually hoping for that thing to be a vamp. There. Reason
Uh,
being because if it isn't, most likely it's a hoax, and there have been 8 Drac events already. So there are
Mina is
high.
moving. Maybe she's gonna
Ooh,
do a little.
not sure I really like that.
Maybe she's got to do a horse delivery. She has a heavenly host showing. I haven't checked that in a while.
Well,
Heavenly host and escape route.
yeah, that was her initial stuff.
Yeah.
So she's always had that. I don't know.
Because it's. I don't think we've seen evil presence, correct? So it's certainly
Yeah,
possible.
neither that or local rumors. Yeah, it's possible, entirely possible that Dracula was playing running around the Mina.
Indeed. So that could have actually been a bad move. We don't know. My hunch is that it's got to be a delivery of some kind, probably of a horse, but maybe of a heavenly host.
I
Let's
think
see.
more likely the latter because I I kind of doubt that she would go around without. By the way, another stake discarded. Uh, I kind of doubt that she'd go around without a weapon. I, but then again, well, we'll see.
Indeed. Um, and if it is a heavenly host delivery, that would, in my view, make it more likely that Altaris has consecrated ground. So that's speculation layered upon speculation, but we'll have to see how these things develop.
Yeah, considering it, and the thing is, the hunters are pretty stacked as far as events. Van Helsing is the only one that has any free slots, and he has only one, so they are almost full on events.
Hmm.
So, uh, yeah, this will be interesting.
Yeah, one other thing that I think will be interesting is if that first one's a vamp and the second card is not hide, I might be tempted to misdirect that second card, or perhaps misdirect the one after the wolf form.
Well, they'll get wiped anyway, so why bother?
Oh, you're right. But yeah, you could but the right, you could misdirect an additional one to make it wipe four, I guess essentially. That would be interesting.
Well, the sad part to that for Drac is that that's one less encounter he has on its way to maturing.
True. Guess we'll see. Kind of depends on where he is at. But we'll find out one way or another tomorrow.
Yeah, this does give me the impression of some sort of delivery between me and Seward.
Yeah, there's not for a seasoned player. There's not much reason to move as a hunter before you know where
Oh,
Dracula is. Rough draw on the horse economy.
okay. Oh, he has some surprising return.
Let's see. Uh, uh, surprising return. Oh, you're going by the prompts?
Yes, there are only two things that trigger a dusk. Newspaper, which of course he would have used, but Eddie would have used it before, at dawn, and and surprising return. Since we can rule out newspaper reports, why on earth would he have not used it by now? That
Yeah.
just is ridiculous. Therefore, we can deduce that he has two, and since there are two prompts, that he has both surprising returns. So he can summon Sister Agatha back the moment he finds him.
Yes. Hmm. That's kind of interesting. Did you said you saw two different prompts at dusk?
Yes.
So that's either the two surprising returns or bizarrely one in a newspaper reports or newspaper reports. That's all the only things it could be.
Yeah, those are the only two events that trigger at dusk.
I'm, hmm. Because he could have used one of the two to do another pinpoint search. I guess he
Yes.
probably didn't think that was
How?
worth it in this at this time since he probably wouldn't be able to get to the vamp anyway.
Yeah, he's gonna get. Oh,
Ah, interesting. Like
interesting.
just like we were discussing earlier. Very
Yeah,
interesting.
I'm not sure how much I like that. He's basically resetting it back to like as if that were his starting location and we're wiping the rest of the board. But we're basically saying that we're basically altering the rules, saying we start 1 week into the game and I get 6 or 7 points to start with. You have to fight me.
We have some audience interaction. Strider656, our tournament leader, is here in the comments and says that Fang sounds like he is in an echo chamber. Not sure what to do about that. Um, man, I will acknowledge that streaming technology is not quite my forte. Uh, yeah, I have absolutely no idea how to fix that. Strider, if you have some veteran streamer knowledge to dump in the chat, any suggestions, I will try to accommodate and fulfill those. Game is going well. We are about to
Okay,
find out where
Mr.
Dracula is.
Zurich. Wow.
Interesting.
If that had been a horse from Seward, he actually could have made it there in one move. He could have actually just stumbled into it by mistake.
So Dracula
It's
started in Zurich. Maybe he leapt over Godalming and Seward and went east.
I'm afraid you just cut in and out a bit, partner.
Very well. So this is fascinating. So we
Uh,
just had an aristocratic go off, scoring Drac 7 points with the rumor token, and we had two moves and a wolf form uh, uh, cleared as part of the vampire mature, and we had a misdirect of the next one. So Dracula could be, what, 5 spaces away from Zurich?
Uh, more than that, a full 6, possibly.
Full 6, yeah.
Considering that that's the first evil presence that was drawn, he could be all the way in the east at this point. It's possible
Yeah,
that he did that misdirect to, and now I can see the reason behind that misdirect. Since he went for a central start, and since he saw that they were moving, it's quite possible that it's a location in that area that they're far more likely to just bumble into by accident.
very possible. Very possible. So really, yeah, this is
Okay,
interesting. He could be anywhere.
So Seward does have a horse. Interesting. So I'm gonna guess that this is either he's just making a mistake in doing manual searching, or this is a heavenly host delivery. And you see, if any of those movements and any of those movements had been in a supply, he would have been able to try and find him.
Hmm. Where is Altaris going to search with these hired scouts? The field is so wide open.
Yes, but you probably with such a large field would put at least one in the mid map, wouldn't you?
He did not. He
Madrid
tried
is
Madrid and Santander. Not in
yeah, he
Spain.
is. Well, it's not completely ruled out. In truth,
Fair enough. Not in the Spanish cities that our boy Altaris has checked. Well, this is man, these hunters are totally in the dark. This is just the way Dracula likes it. Strategy says Italy.
yeah,
Italy is also very possible, but it just makes us
possible,
wonder
but
what that early wolf form was for. Was it to jump over hunters, probably Godalming and Seward? Was it to avoid jumping on a space where they could reveal him with evil presence?
gi- given that my guess is that given that he went for a central start, I'm guessing that it is simply to go to a place like Strasbourg and then because he only moved once before after Zurich. There's only one more card before the Wolf War, right? So what if
Correct.
that card? What if the card in question was Strasbourg, and he was doing a wolf form from Strasbourg to make it so that he could make that so that if they did find that location, the and so that they did find Strasbourg, what direction did he go then?
Strider in the chat is suggesting put a rumor down, and I think he's probably right. There should be another rumor token for DonOJack now. Plop it down on your first one after the misdirect, and I mean, DonOJack could be off to the races with this game and these influences points.
Possible, but far less likely now.
Let's check. Let me check the discard again. Haven't checked in a while. Still nothing
No,
crazy.
the, yeah, the most remarkable thing since that second stake that I told you about, what is a rifle. Uh, that's really
Yeah.
basically the discarding. Basically the discard. Oh,
Ooh, psychic
whoa!
bonds.
Like this is the time where our psychic bond really does come to shine.
Okay, well that changed the game considerably. The universe of
Now,
potential locations of Dracula has just shrunk by about, I don't know, to 1/6 of what it was before.
yes, but let's keep in mind that he does have his wolf form back.
He does
So
indeed. He does indeed. But the
he
hunters
got back 2 days early.
are suddenly much more in it.
Yep.
All Where will
And
Dracula
now,
go now?
and now that they at least have an idea of where he is, uh, and since Mia has already visited a couple of spots in France, it probably won't be all that hard for them to find the trail. Yep,
Here's the
there goes
wolf
another
form.
wolf heart. Yeah,
Wolf forming there introduces a little bit more uncertainty.
yeah, it's. I'm gonna guess that he's trying to. Let's see. I'm really not sure.
If you're the
It,
hunters here, do you keep supplying or do you start searching individual spots in France?
I would say that what I would do is I would have Seward and Mina do a bit of individual searching because they have horses and therefore can check the biggest crossroads and therefore the most likely locations. Oh, gotta use Aggie to narrow it down
Let's see. Who
because we
will,
know that he has because in case you didn't, our audience didn't know, or have forgotten, we know that he has both.
we think,
What was
yes,
that?
he almost certainly has both surprising returns, and he uses one of them to check Strasbourg, and it's a miss. Here's the other.
Okay, I would have saved the second one, actually. Oh, okay, just gonna use it
Interesting.
here and now. I would have saved that. Wait for the moment because you might want to summon back a Rufus instead.
Here's another thing. We were also talking earlier about how, just based on the distribution of dawn prompts, uh, hunters have at least one good dawn event that is at least one renewed vigor or speedy telegraph. The fact that Altaris is switching to Aggie now makes me think maybe one of those is a renewed vigor, and he might want to just
I would not be surprised.
start coming after Dracula more directly.
Quite possible. I I also think quite possible that since the higher stuff was used down in Spain, that's probably going to be one of the last spots they check. So what if this is a wolf form down to Spain?
I certainly agree. I definitely think that for DonOJack, it makes a lot more sense to Wolfform if you were on one of the edge cities in the edge of France, rather than like you know Paris or Nantes or something like that. So yeah, wolfing from say Bordeaux into Spain at that point would make a lot of sense.
Actually, not as much sense as you might think. I think that the exact opposite is true.
Ooh,
It
local
makes more
numbers.
it makes more sense to do like a wolf form that you can set basically so that you can clear the border one day sooner. Uh,
Maybe
so
right, but if you're
from Nantes down to Spain, from Paris into either Italy or Germany. Uh, I I'm afraid that I shall. I'm afraid that I think that quite the opposite is true.
yeah, I don't
I
know. I feel like if I were on in Le Havre or if I were in Nantes, I might even be tempted to hide, and then when the hunters get a little bit closer, then just go to sea. Another miss. I wonder if maybe Donnajack just went into France temporarily and just went right back out. Maybe there's not a lot to find in France. Let's see.
well, considering that it was Zurich, uh, I'm not inclined to believe that to be the case. Either that, or I think that it's more likely that he had just finished his business in France and is now going up into Germany. If he is if he has left France, because we don't know for sure whether he has actually left France.
Nope, we do not. Still a bit of speculation on my part. What's Van Helsing gonna do? Do some
I,
trading?
I, I don't know. Give me a minute.
1, 2, 3, 4. So I guess there are 5 cities in France that need to be checked. Strider's saying DonOJack with the upsets, calling things early. I hope you didn't jinx him, DonOJack, Strider. Don't listen. No, nobody listen to that. Fingers crossed. Knock on wood. Wear your pajamas inside out and backwards. I always like to root for the underdog in each of these matchups. Interestingly, he rumors the one we know is in France. That may just be because that's where the vamp is. I have to assume that's the case given the state of the influence meter. But you never know.
Yes, but but also here's the thing. Uh, you see where the misdirect is. That if he hadn't misdirected that, he would not have had the option to rumor that particular spot, because he would not have gotten his second rumor token in time to do so.
Still nothing.
What?
No Paris.
Okay, this is definitely extremely interesting.
Every
And the thing is, Mina was standing at Toulouse and it was standing at Clermont-Ferrand at certain points.
every single one of these misses makes that trail go longer and longer, and makes that trail increasingly difficult for these hunters to deal with.
Yeah.
The so the item deck is fully cleared, so they have to have all horses.
Uh.
They have to be pretty well armed too.
There
Brussels.
it is.
Now that tells us a lot because that is not
The,
the space
the,
that DonOJack was in when the psychic scan hit.
what this tells me is I almost tells me is that this is like another wolf form out of Strasbourg.
This is I think his path has to have been Brussels to Le Havre, wolf form to Bordeaux, and then into Santander.
No, not
That's
necessarily. He could have gone to Strasbourg as well, because Strasbourg was off the trail by then.
wasn't Strasbourg searched with Aggie? I think
I
Strasbourg
well,
was searched with Aggie after the wolf form. I could be misremembering.
if it was, then yes, you're right. So yeah, that would have to be Le Havre,
And then from
which
there he could go to either, I
he could
guess,
go to Cologne.
Cologne,
He could go.
Strasbourg, Bordeaux, or Clermont-Ferrand. Although I can't remember where everyone was stationed at the time. But I mean, Bordeaux. Yeah, I don't know.
I I could definitely see Bordeaux head down towards Spain. So as much chaos as you can there, then lead by sea.
For sure, for sure. And you cut your naval path eastward substantially if you do that. Otherwise, you're going to be landing in Britain, or you're going to be taking quite a lot of damage to the sea and not laying any trail. So yeah, under the circumstances, a wolf form to we
Ooh.
got a bats in
Okay.
Brussels. So this might tell us quite a bit as well.
Depending on what Seward does, I might actually shove Mina into Paris. That
That
way you
would
can
reveal the least information.
precisely. But if Seward discovers the information anyway, then you might want to just shove, like, if it is, like, say, a reckless vampire, you might want to shove it on that, try to get ambush points.
That would also make a lot of sense to me. It would be an interesting
Yeah, because
turn.
it, with only 2 stakes having been discarded so far as we saw, and the deck having refreshed, so therefore, or one of those two could be back in their hands, I don't think there's going to be all that many more vampires for a while. Not now that they've picked up the trail.
Yeah, I think that's probably right. Um,
Yeah.
so how many stakes did we see in the discard before it refreshed? We saw at least two.
I only saw 2, but I was dealing with a small issue for when it refreshed.
Now remind me, there are other 4 stakes total in the deck.
Yes,
Okay, so they
there
could
are a
have
total
at
of 4
most
stakes. So
have
they
at
have
least
at
two
least
stakes.
2. They have at least 2 among them.
Interesting.
On the assumption that they didn't discard others, but they should. But I seriously doubt that. I
Dracula is dwelling on this move. And,
that makes me think that that's actually a wolf form to Cologne.
I think so too. I
Yeah,
mean,
that
if
is
you had wolfed to Bordeaux and then Santander, you would have a pretty easy decision to just keep going around Spain. But if you wolfed to
not
Cologne and
not
then to
exactly
Hamburg
because
or
that's
something like
actually
that,
not quite as true as you might think.
eh,
Because you would definitely want to consider when do I go to Madrid? At what point do I do that?
yeah, fair enough, fair enough. I think it would be an easier decision than would be suggested by that amount of time. And we
All
found
right,
Le Havre, as we suspected, just mathing it out.
not all right, not
No ambush.
so that
I'm not sure that tells us
appears
that
to
much,
say
although it did happen
that
quickly. Oh,
oh,
we have a
vampire lair.
Vampire. So there goes another stake. There should be 1 stake left, unless they've drawn one very recently. Well, that puts the Hunters in a much safer position, where a single rumored vamp won't kill them.
Well, I wouldn't say much safer. Much safer because keep in mind that there's always reckless vampire ambushes that could make those points right back up. And back in
This,
the fall league, that's precisely how I
this is
managed to win.
semantics. It's better for the Hunters. Don't
I mean,
say
it
a
is
little bit,
pretty sure.
a moderate amount, a lot. It's better. It's directionally better for the Hunters. All right,
Yes.
Mina's delayed, and okay. Oh, it's
Oh, bluff.
wolves. A
It's a
bluff
bluff.
indeed. Okay.
Ah,
Uh,
interesting.
so
Okay,
Mina
Mia has
has
a
a
knife,
knife
and
to move
unless
to.
things have changed, she also has a Heavenly Host. I'm now convinced that it was a Heavenly Host delivery to Van Helsing to Seward that was going on because she's not showing that anymore. I'm guessing she has a knife and a Heavenly Host. Seward showed what there?
A rifle. So they each took 2 damage and
Okay.
showed 1 weapon. That's a good, good job on DonOJack's part, getting the maximum value out of those wolves. And now those 200s, well, they probably weren't going to supply next turn. Uh, if they wanted to, they're now in a small city, and yeah, and I have to say that's probably
Well,
put them a little
the one
further,
thing I
regardless of
will
what direction
say
that Drac went.
The one thing I will say is that it I think that he should have waited for them to search it anyway because they couldn't just let a rumor token go. They still would have searched it. Make them spend the action.
Um, yeah, I think I agree with
It's
that.
still it still applies. It's still good value, don't get me wrong. But
Yeah, risk reward. I have to imagine it's unlikely that any of them had dogs because I saw a ton of dogs. It probably would have been more effective to wait for and let them search, but
I
I
well we
can't
now
I can't judge
I
DonOJack too much for wanting to get the hit while he can.
well we now know that neither Ermia nor Seward has dogs.
True, true.
Otherwise, they would have shown them to just diffuse that. Most likely, at least.
So now the big question: where did Drac wolf form from Le Havre? Let's see.
So, the first spot I'd check is Bordeaux
Hmm? Uh,
because that's
the most dangerous?
because well,
And one of the most likely.
kind of. I was more thinking in the term. I was more thinking uh, in terms of where you have the fewest hunters area.
Interesting.
So,
So
he's going
they're
to
going for a scanning strategy to try to figure out where Dracula
yeah.
is now rather than try to find the trail.
Yeah, because finding the trail will give them quite a bit of information that way. Although I kind of doubt he'll be in Italy, unless he went to Wolfhorn to Bordeaux and is only just now stepped in there by going to Toulouse, Marseille, and now Genoa.
I agree. I don't know if I agree with that decision after Seward hit Geneva, because
I fully agree with the check of Geneva. Good, that was definitely a good check. Although I would say that it was more imperative for Ursula to check Bordeaux.
I guess
Uh,
at this point you can scan Italy, and then if it doesn't work, as we kind of suspect it won't, it still could. Maybe one could next turn horse to what's the city I'm thinking of? Cologne, and the other could horse to Bordeaux from there. Maybe that's what he's thinking. We'll see.
yes.
It
Hmm.
wouldn't be crazy to wolf to not Natalia.
Th-
Okay.
As we suspected.
Well, another good situation for DonOJack as the trail just gets longer and longer.
Yeah.
But with well-armed hunters, everything can turn in an instant. So I would say it's
Yeah.
still anyone's game.
But he is getting progressively into a better and better situation as things continue this way. As well, I as of course, the hunters are losing time. Uh, we are now almost after this Drac move. We'll be only 2 days away. 2 days left in week 2. So
In the chat, Strider's saying they can full heal. Um, does that mean that Mina and Seward can full heal?
well, Seward already has.
Right,
Is yet to.
right.
I'm not sure exactly what Strider means by that,
No.
but
Well, there's also a Pokemon that can cure poison and cure all the status effects. I'm not sure if there's a status effect going on here, other than let's see, where are we at now? Dracula has made his move. Okay.
here's the thing. Due to how Dracula took a while earlier, I wouldn't be surprised if he's in northeastern uh, Germany and is possibly, what if he went to Cologne, then Leipzig, and then took a chance It went to Nuremberg, then Prague, and now just is in Vienna.
That
Because it's
would be
possible.
fascinating, and it would explain the long Dracula turns. Oh, we're on renewed
Oh,
vigor
aha! I didn't probably say it's both of them because typically that's speed
and speed
telegraph.
telegraph. All right, Altaris is gonna find Dracula or bust.
Uh, 12 or bust is definitely putting it strong, as you don't need renewed vigor. Oh, and right off
And
the
a
bat we
hired
got a
scout. That
scout.
is a huge help.
Yeah, so I would check both Bordeaux and Cologne because those are really the only.
That'll give you the directional. Tell you what direction Dracula's moving. And if you don't hit, okay, and you hit.
Amsterdam. Interesting. Interesting.
That would also explain the oh, and a
Hypnosis.
hypnosis.
And he did indeed make it as far as. Let me see. From
Okay,
there.
one,
Oh, that has to be Prague. He
two,
actually knows
three,
exactly.
four.
That actually tells us exactly where he is. Wow. I'm
One,
not
two.
sure how much I like him using
That is
using
a CG nuke
hypnosis.
zone, and we know that there are some heavenly hosts out there. Uh,
Just,
this
yes, as
is
far as I know, there wasn't
very
a single one
interesting.
discarded. So if he's got it, that's game.
Oh boy, you're right. There's literally nowhere else in Austria-Hungary
That
that
he could have reached without
Dracula
having
could
to.
reach.
Yeah.
Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Now if that, well,
This is going to be very interesting for sure. But here's the bad news. The bad news is that if they do not have CG, uh, Seward will need a sense of emergency to get. Well, let me check myself. No, Seward actually could reach Prague. So even without CG, Drac is already facing a 2v1 combat potentially tonight, so long as Seward rolls well on the horses.
true. So I wonder what Altaris is thinking. I have to imagine if he had CG and a full panoply of heavenly hosts that he wouldn't be thinking this hard. He'd just be celebrating, setting off the fireworks, getting ready to do that nuke. Um, but uh, but and if he didn't have CG, maybe he's thinking about whether you should try to draw for it or try to just go for the 2-on-1. Because obviously, if you do the 2-on-1 and you have an escape as bats, it's kind of not great. But another thought might be maybe Mina has the CG. I kind of doubt it. I feel like that's the thing you would trade off of her, but that would also
Well,
be fascinating because she's delayed and can't use it if she had it.
yes, but that'd be as simple as Van Helsing is one of his actions today to
Oh,
trade it
true.
off.
Very true.
That's a very simple problem. Very interesting. It appears that he's not that. It would appear that either he does that he's just trying to. It's either that we missed him discarding a heavenly host at one point and he's dating to get it back up, uh, or in which case he has CG, or he hasn't discerned how exactly he made it there. But no, with having gone to Vienna and having been standing in Munich, he knows where he is, or he definitely should know.
I wonder if Seward will go to Nuremberg here, block off both exits, then Dracula needs to either hide or walk onto your space.
Either that or misdirect.
Oh,
Uh,
that is true. That's another option. All right, good thinking. Strider says CG on him and lead Drac to Godalming. That's also true, right? If he
Yeah,
has CG but
yeah,
is missing a heavenly host.
yeah, that's what is that to me. That's what appears to be happening. Could call their Shredder.
Indeed. Although, yeah, let's see. Either way, it's going to be a very interesting night in Checha here very quickly.
Yeah, one awkward thing is that if they don't have CG and we're just mistaken and he's simply cutting him off, the trail could still get out of control.
True. True, true, true. If
Because
there's
there's still because after Dracula's move, there is going to be a full trail's worth of stuff. All right, here's the moment of truth. Since the telegraph is equipped, well, yep, there
consecrated
it is.
Dan, there it is. All right. Sure enough, Dracula's in Prague. One heavenly host. Two heavenly hosts. And Nuremberg's on the trail. Three heavenly hosts. That is a
Yep. All right.
CG nuke.
Well,
Wow. What a twist. Dracula was looking so good this entire game, and that clutch hypnosis uh, changed the entire trajectory of the game. We continue to have a chalk bracket here in this New Blood tournament. Uh, but
this now means that DonOJack that Altaris will be progressing to the semifinals to face off against Burke Molly, and that's it. And this being the final match of the quarterfinals, this will now bring the quarterfinals to an end.
indeed, indeed. There
So
was
that was
Dracula
five
didn't have a
influence.
fight the entirety of this round between Altaris and neither this nor the reverse matchup. Very interesting. Well, all right, that was a quick
Yeah,
one here this Sunday evening, and thank you for watching with us. And we look forward to streaming and watching as we move forward with the next round of this tournament. So, thank you, Fangs. Thank you,
my pleasure.
live audience, and by that I mean Strider. And good night.
Yep. I our congratulations to Altaris and to DonOJack for having made it this far. But
Indeed.
now it's time to let it'll be definitely a lot of fun to watch the semifinalists at work.
Yep,
It
yep.
will on this side on the left side of the bracket we got Strider 6x6 versus Warren Talon, and on the right side we got Altaris versus Brooke Molly. Who will the finalists be? Ooh.
Can't wait to find out. All right, thank you, Fangs.